Black Myth. Wukong is getting a follow-up, but this time the hero of the story is completely different. Zhong Kui, the most feared ghost hunter in Chinese mythology, master of demons wielding his massive sword, is stepping into the gaming world. In this video, I'll cover everything, from release date speculation to the mythological origins of this legendary character. So before we dive into the details, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. At Gamescom 2025, instead of the Black Myth Wukong DLC we were expecting, we got something entirely new. Game Science came on stage and announced a brand new game, Black Myth Zhong Kui. This reveal hit the gaming world like a bombshell because nobody thought a follow-up would come this quickly. And even more surprising, this time the spotlight isn't on Wukong. It's on one of the most legendary figures of Chinese mythology, Zhong Kui. And to answer the burning question right away, yes, in this game we'll play as Zhong Kui himself. That means no more journey of the Golden Monkey King. We're stepping into the shoes of a completely different mythological hero. In Taoist belief, Zhong Kui is a deity tasked with hunting down evil spirits and demons. And he's no ordinary figure. Legend says he commands an army of 80,000 demons. So we may be looking at a darker, harsher, and more mystical atmosphere this time around. Why did Game Science move from Wukong to Zhong Kui? According to the studio, this was a creative decision. They already struck gold with Black Myth Wukong. Now they want to deliver a brand new experience, learning from their past mistakes while also surprising players. In their own words, we don't want to make the same game twice. We want to give you something different. And that proves Black Myth Zhong Kui isn't just a spin-off. It's a full-fledged sequel. Of course, the big question on everyone's mind is, when is the game coming out? Sadly, there's no release date yet. In fact, Game Science CEO Yakar even joked, "I have no idea either." Wukong took around 4 years from announcement to launch, but now the studio has its tech pipeline and game engine fully ready, so estimates point to 2028-2029. Yes, it's going to be a wait, but it's shaping up to be worth it. For those wondering about pre-order, the answer is no, not yet. And that's totally normal considering how early in development the project is. First, the planned DLC content for Black Myth Wukong will be released, so pre-orders for Zhong Kui are still years away. In the meantime, games like Wukong, Fallen Feathers, and Phantom Blade Zero will help satisfy our wuxia and mythology cravings. As for platforms, Black Myth Zhong Kui is already confirmed for PC and all major consoles. That means it's guaranteed to launch on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. But here's the twist. Console generations are moving fast. With PS5 and Xbox Series approaching their 5th year, the PS6 and next Xbox could be announced soon, which means Zhong Kui might launch across both current and next-gen hardware. That could actually be a huge advantage for Game Science. Wukong was locked to current-gen only. If Zhong Kui spans multiple generations, it will reach a much broader audience. And with Chinese mythology still being underexplored in the West, the cultural impact could be enormous. So who exactly is Zhong Kui? In Chinese folklore, he's a dark yet heroic figure. Originally, he was a brilliant scholar who ranked first in the imperial exams. But the emperor denied him his rightful title simply because he was considered too ugly. Outraged by this injustice, Zhong Kui threw himself at the palace gates, taking his own life. The gods, impressed by his courage, rewarded him by making him the hunter of ghosts and demons. From then on, Zhong Kui became both a nightmare to demons and a protector of the people. This tragic yet powerful mythological backstory gives the game incredible narrative potential. Wukong's journey was about rebellion. Zhong Kui's, however, is about injustice, divine retribution, and transformation into a warrior empowered by the gods. That means a darker, more dramatic tone, potentially featuring more horror elements, a mystical world, and terrifying enemy designs. Game Science stresses this isn't just a character swap. Their goal, we want players who enjoyed Wukong to feel at home, but also be caught off guard. In other words, familiar foundations will remain, but expect new mechanics, new combat styles, and big surprises. Especially Zhong Kui's mythological ability to command an army of demons could become a jaw-dropping game mechanic. Imagine fighting with your massive sword while summoning and commanding hundreds of demons at your side. Now let's talk gameplay. According to the official FAQ, Game Science admits there are no finalized outlines for story or systems yet. They even said not even the outline is finished. But this honesty is exciting. It means they're building the world from scratch for players. The fluid action RPG combat from Wukong will likely return, but new systems tailored to Zhong Kui's personality and powers are definitely on the way. One of Zhong Kui's core mythological traits is exorcising spirits and controlling demons. How might this translate into gameplay? Maybe we'll absorb defeated enemies as allies. Maybe in massive boss fights, we'll temporarily command armies of demons. Game Science's promise to catch players off guard strongly hints that mechanics like these are on the table. The Gamescom 2025 teaser leaned more into atmosphere than story. Two characters sneak through ancient ruins, only to witness a parade of monstrous beings. Then Zhong Kui appears, mounted on a massive tiger the size of an airplane. His red beard and fiery stare lock onto the camera, radiating power and menace. Within seconds, the teaser tells us, this is going to be a very different game. Community reactions have been mixed. Some fans feel disappointed, saying Wukong's story isn't finished. Others welcome the idea of a new character and a fresh perspective. In particular, those familiar with Chinese mythology see Zhong Kui as a natural choice. While not as globally popular as Wukong, his story is far darker, scarier, and epic. In the middle of this debate, Game Science made things clear. We're not abandoning the Wukong universe. The journey continues, but for now, we're telling another hero's story, which opens the door to future crossovers. Imagine Wukong and Zhong Kui meeting, or even fighting side by side, in a future game. That possibility alone is enough to keep the hype alive. As for release timing, again, no window is confirmed. Even CEO Yokar admitted, I don't know. But compared to Wukong's development, things may move faster this time. The studio already has the engine, the effects pipeline, and a global publishing network in place. Realistically, though, don't expect Black Myth Zhong Kui before 2028. The long wait could actually work in their favor. By then, PS6 and the next Xbox will likely be on shelves. That could make Zhong Kui one of the first major AAA mythological games for next-gen. Strategically, that positions Game Science to capture both current and future audiences worldwide. Another thing worth praising is the studio's honesty. In gaming, we've seen too many cases of early hype, late disappointment. But Game Science is upfront, even in the FAQ. The story isn't ready. We're still building systems. This transparency builds trust, setting realistic expectations from the start. In other words, we won't rush it. We'll release it when it's ready. The hype for Black Myth Zhong Kui isn't just about mythology, it's about cultural significance. Seeing Chinese mythology represented this strongly in a AAA global game is a huge win for diversity. We've had countless Western myth-based titles, but characters like Zhong Kui are still largely unexplored. That makes this game even more intriguing on the world stage. And here's the bottom line. Black Myth Zhong Kui may take years, but looking at Game Science's vision, it will be worth the wait. They're pushing the saga of Wukong into darker, more dramatic, and deeply mythological territory. All we can do now is be patient and watch as each new teaser reignites the hype train. And when the day finally comes, we'll all be ready to stare back into Zhong Kui's fiery eyes. There you have it, folks. Everything we know so far about Black Myth Zhong Kui. The release date may be uncertain, but one thing's clear. When it arrives, it's going to lock us all to our screens. Darker, more dramatic, and more epic than ever. Do you think Zhong Kui's story will be even more powerful than Wukong's? Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.